what's up? It's Craig. Hey, Bob. Watching my favorite sports team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, play, and it's halftime, so I figured I'd step outside and record a little piece of content, share a little bit about my life, what I'm doing right now, and how I just walked into a bar where I did not know a soul, and I've already made four friends, including one of the guys and his girl who we walked out and saw. So they were right in front of the door. And I wanted to share a real quick concept. But first, let me take a step back. So this is part 2 of how to talk in public and how to beat your stutter. And what you see from me is possible for you too. It doesn't mean it's quick. It took me 10 years to beat my stutter and have this kind of confidence, but no one taught me. There was no one recorded content who showed me how to do this. So you have me doing it. So hopefully if you choose to work on your speech, I think it's a personal choice. Of course, I think why not work on your speech, because stuttering for me was so painful. But you can have confidence, you can beat your stutter. And I wanted to record stuff in public and do long form content because no one's doing it. There's no one who's trying to help you beat your stutter and gain confidence and do it out in public. There's no long form things like this where someone just walks around in their real life. Part 1 was at a mall, part 2 is at, so it's a sports bar coffee shop, but it's a fun strip. It's just like a cool part of town. And so I just wanted to record and show you what I do in my real world. But there's a couple principles I want to share. I'm gonna pull over here. Just get a parking. There we go. First of all, the camera. So on this recording, what you're seeing is me, of course, and whatever I see. So this concept, this way how to record like this is very new. It's like a month old. So for, this cutting edge shit, like you can see what I see. And I thought, wouldn't that be fun when I record content out in public? And this content is the exact same content that I wish I would have had, that I would have loved when I was 20 in college and stuttering badly, or at parts of my life when I was when I was suffering because it was hard, or the parts of my life when I was working on my speech, to both make me feel better about the hard days as well as provide hope, provide a path, and hear from someone who's done it, someone who can provide encouragement. And that's what I'm doing. And there's no one doing it like this. And this is the type of content which, as I shared, is the type that I would have craved as when I was going through my time to beat my stutter. But I did not want to record this. It was not my intention to make this kind of stuff. So I spend a lot of time coaching people who do not stutter on things about their life and how to beat their biggest problem or top challenge. So stuttering content is not what I wanted, but no one was producing this kind of stuff. And I did want to, I can't go back in time and fix myself and save my old self and provide help. So the next best thing is to provide it for someone who's going through it now. Maybe that's you. So it's a personal choice, and my qualification is I beat my stutter. I did not go to school for it. I did not learn how to pronounce words better from a textbook in school. But I've been you. I've lived a life. I've cried myself to sleep. I've been humiliated. I shared a story about 6th grade in the part 1. Part 2, this part 2 of how to talk in public, I'll share a story about I dated a girl for 2 weeks in high school. And I was a junior. And when I grew up, and she did not have a cell phone. So I had a house landline to call. And whenever you stutter, those are the real fun ones. But I had to call her to figure out a time to pick her up. So I was very incentivized to make the phone call. But I was dreading her mom or dad would pick up, right? If she picked up, I would safe, but it's the landline. So I call and the dad picks up in a gruff, deep voice. And I was so panicky. I was so full of fear. that all I could get out without a huge, I mean, there was a big block, but without like 30 seconds of silence was her name and the word please. Like, I don't want to say her name, but some name please. Like, instead of, hey, can I talk to, or hi, I'm so-and-so is, hi, I'm Craig Coffey is blank there. No, I could just say the girl's name and the word please. And it worked, but I felt like shit because it was just the fear I felt in the moment, and the way I just felt so tiny, right? I was scared to make the call. I felt about, say, 2 inches tall. And then when the dad picked up, I felt like half an inch tall. And then she picks up, and now I'm talking to a girl who I like, and I don't have any confidence. I have a ton of anxiety, and it was so bad. It was so bad. And which leads me to a point I want to make, which is there's a concept about the mood you go into a conversation with, the confidence you bring into a conversation, or the let's say anxiety you feel when you go into the conversation. Your confidence is not going to go better. It's not going to get better in conversation. It's only going to go one way for you right now, I would guess, which is down. Just down. That was me. So if I had to make a call and I felt scared and I felt 2 inches tall, then so I think this is going to be way too loud for me to just sit here and talk, which is a shame because that would have been fun. So, by the way, this is one big take, so you hear a car that is backing up, but this is the real world. This is how I do it with one long take. So you can see me, see my speech, see what works in the real world and things I do. So I know it's not very crowded here on the sidewalk now. And I'll record a part 3, which will have more content of me out in public. But I think this is a good start. So I'm going to post up right here now. Just kind of talk a little bit more. All right. So there's a thing that when you feel good, when you feel, I don't say pumped up, but I think I want to share it with this quick example. Let's say you have to make a phone call. Let's say you have to call a doctor's office and to make your appointment or to share your personal information, which is really hard. So the thing I want you to imagine in your mind is you have to make the phone call. The first time you just pick up the phone and call them. In the second pretend scenario, you're not making the phone call yet. You spend 10 or 20 minutes and you're playing your favorite music, the songs that you really love. Sorry, buddy. And then you make the phone calls. And how would your stutter be then? So, like, how would your fluency be the second time once you change your own mood? So, and that's a real thing. And the thing I wanted to say is, like, the concept of the mood that you come into a conversation or call with, it's huge. It's super important. No, it's not going to beat your stutter. It's not going to magically cure shit, but it'll give you the best possible chance to have confidence, the best possible chance to have better speech. And there's not one thing that made me as fluent, like, as you see. There was 25 things, and I get asked a lot, hey, Craig, like how'd you beat your stutter? What'd you do? And what I want to do is say, here's the 25 things. So I'm actually writing all of these down, all of the things that I've done or did, or like how I think about the world, or think about it from a stutterer's, or like from a how to beat my stutter perspective, and I'm going to share it all. So you will get a copy, or you will be able to see a copy of my list. These are my philosophies for how I beat my stutter and how I'm staying this fluent, and I'm doing it in public with a long form take, because there's no one who's doing this. Again, I did not want to record this kind of content, but it does not exist in the world, so might as well do it. It's fun, and I got to get this message out. This would have helped me a lot. So we talked about mood. I shared a story from my life when I was a junior in high school. And now I wanted to share about the role that beliefs play in fluency. So I get a lot of criticism about this point, but it's also one of the key points that made me sustainably fluent. So someone who criticizes, that it does not matter to me, because most people who criticize me, they still stutter, and they stutter in public, and they still feel intimidated, and they can't do this. So their opinion doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. Dust off my shoulder. It's nothing. But you, I care about you. I care about your fluency. I care about your speech, because I've been you. I've cried myself to sleep. I felt very sad. I have felt like life could not be improved. But because this is one big take, like, you never know what you're gonna see. And so, like, this is just life. And so it's all good, man. And we can achieve it all, and we can do it all. It takes work. It's hard, but for me, it's not as hard as stuttering forever, not feeling like there's hope. So there's this concept that our beliefs play a role. And I kind of teased the idea in part one when I mentioned that one of the things I did was stop identifying myself as someone who stuttered, right? Stop calling myself a stutterer. There's a lot that goes into that, but that's a deep thought, because when we identify as something, when we believe ourselves as something, we will, like, that's a characteristic. And I want you to know it's not your fault, that the reason why, to me, why we believe what we believe is because of how we grew up and what was taught to us. But most of us who stutter did not stutter from birth. We stuttered when we were young kids. I was 7. So whatever the beliefs we had before that, they get changed. Why? Because we stutter, we feel humiliated, we feel embarrassed, we can't say our names, we feel horrible when we stutter, and then we beat ourselves up more. And the concept about that, the concept about the self-talk, about it, just like whatever you say to yourself, all of the thoughts that replay in your head when you're about to go to bed, which are the worst parts about your day or about your week or about your life, or the things that have gone wrong, or what you fear will happen in the future. Those were all my truths. I've talked to enough people who stutter, who that is a truth for people who stutter. And I can probably see you wherever you are, and you're like, yes, Craig, that's true. Yes, it was the same for all of us. That's why I think we're more alike than we are different. And we're more alike than we are people that we are related to, because we've lived the same life in a lot of ways, the same thoughts, the same humiliations. Like, we can list them all, and we have a lot in common. So your beliefs, they get formed because life happens to us, right? Because shit happens, because and again, this is real life, just one take. So I'm gonna walk in the street because I don't see any cars right now. Okay, so we're just gonna go down here for a second. We're gonna dip back into the sports bar and watch my game. Go Jags. But the thing I wanted to really share real quick is I'm gonna go across the streets. Oh, they're coming with me. So we are going across the street. So because this is one take. Right, so now we're under a tree. You can see whatever I see. So, yeah. Okay. What else we're going to talk about? So the beliefs we have get formed by life. So which means what? Okay, so you grew up as a kid and you were talking most likely fine. Or for me, I can always share what happened for me. I grew up fine. For the first 6 years or so, I talked great. And then don't know what happened, but I started to stutter. One day I came home from 2nd grade, as my mom tells me the story, and I started to stutter. I had a stutter. And so that, and we're just out here discussing stuttering and how to have confidence right here in public. Let me step over here. Okay, so the thing about the beliefs is, I want you to think about your day to day, or when you went to bed last night, when you woke up this morning. what were your thoughts? Like, what did you think about when you went to bed? Like, what did you think about when you started your day? And were you thinking, well, the truth is you're probably playing in your head all of the bad memories, all of the bad shit, right? It's probably like all of the things that went wrong. I mean, I would guess. I know for me, it was exactly that. I know for me, it was exactly all of not my highlights, but the worst. I play like, hey, up next, playlist of all your worst memories. Craig, go enjoy. That's what I live with. And that reprogrammed my beliefs to being, I was a not confident speaker, I stuttered, I was scared to talk, I was anxious, all of those things. Why? Because all the thoughts in my head were full of fear. We're expecting the worst. That matters. That's how that changes beliefs. And for me, I intentionally reprogrammed through time. It took time. It was not immediately, but I started to reprogram what I believed was possible. Started to reprogram like what could be done. Right? So instead of, and there's a lot that goes into how to do that, but it is possible. And I'm proof that it's possible. And if I can do it, so can you. So the beliefs play such a crucial role. And what I found is the people who tend to be the most pessimistic people, who are stutterers, I'm going to use that word. The way I would frame it is people who currently stutter. Because for me, stuttering is not permanent. It was something I was doing at the time, but I knew eventually I would not. So it was that. And, but it's the pessimistic people who stutter, who are the ones who don't think beliefs matter, who say there's no clinical proof, and maybe they're right, there's no clinical proof, because I'm not a clinical guy, because I didn't study how to beat stuttering in a textbook. I did not learn it from college or graduate school. I did not, sit in a classroom with people who never stuttered themselves and learned how to help a stutter. Nope, I did not learn how to say words in a weird way or do the ways where you blow air and then say the word, like force, or blow on a tissue to work on your breath flow. No, and none of that works in the real world. Does not work in a sports bar, on the street, at a mall, at a job interview, at school, when you talk to someone that you find attractive. It does not work then. Nope. So this is real world, proven and tested shit that I share. And I get a lot of criticism. You should know that. I get a lot. But I'm very comfortable, because the criticism I get comes from people who are not fluent like me, who stutter, who, and the thing is, I don't give a shit about how someone improves their speech. If they want to, that's what I care about, is that their speech is better, that they have less struggle, that they're not as sad. So I don't know if you could hear those loud yells, but I'm going to open this door. It sounds like something big just happened. Okay. Part of life when you feel confident is just to have fun, and I wish you the same success, and it's possible, and that's one of the things I want to do, is share that it's all possible. But I'm gonna have to go. Just know I'm gonna record more long form content just like you see now, and it was a lot of fun to talk, but I'm gonna go in and see my Jacksonville Jaguars play. It's Craig Coffey. I believe in you. I believe that you can achieve the good speech that you want, and I believe that you can be happy, and it's all possible. So I'm gonna go in here, grab a drink, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.